Moto likes you. Here he comes.
I like 'em big. I like 'em chunky. I like 'em big. I like 'em lumpy. I like 'em round with something. They like my sound. They think I'm funky. Goodness, girl, you huge.
Who's your friends? Or is that your butt?
Girl, you as quick as you are after.
So you're Moto.
The name's so nice, you say it twice.
I kinda like it, Fatso.
I'll see you around, girl. It won't be hard because you so plumping.
Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself are limited to the current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the client. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information changes frequently, and it is recommended that you, the individual, will consult another physician, another specialist, and or religious leader to aid you in your overall behavioral wellness.
And good evening. Welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae, and we are on our good evening, Peaches. Hi! We are on our final night tonight of love and romance, and just giving strategies. And last night I had a good friend of mine who came on and shared her unique perspective on love, romance, and marriage. And we're going to recap on that tonight. But before we get started, I am a degree counselor. I acquired my degrees from Ashford University. My great passion is bringing healing to people who have been through a traumatic and stressful experience. And we know that when human beings when we experience trauma or severe life stressors, that it's not uncommon for us to feel like that our life is unraveling. But my passion, I help clients such as children, couples, adults, families to find healthy perceptions of themselves and to strengthen their relationships so that they can know themselves as peaceful, complete, and whole. And I want to thank you all for being and hanging in here with me for this month, our first quarter for 2023. I do this 4 times a year, every 3 months. So this was the first month, February. I'll come back on May, and then August, and then November. And so, but again, I highlighted the month of love, and so good to have y'all be with me on this month. I know 9 p.m. is not the most ample time, but it's 30 minutes, and a lot of times we get you right before you lay down and get to bed and stuff. So let's move this along. We already know what the definition of love is. I am a Christian counselor. So I have stuck with the scripture for this month, Galatians 4:8, the NIV version. Above all, love each other deeply because love covers a multitude of sins. Then let's move this along. Okay, so we already know what the definition is. This was my guest last night. She was trying her best. She is extremely busy. She was trying to come on, and she may jump on a little bit later on, but she was trying her best to come on part 2. We loved what she did. I want to recap and show you. This is Tamarra Lewis Johnson. This is her and her spouse. I'm going to open this up a little bit. This is her and her spouse. Now, what is so unique about Tamarra is that Tamarra and her husband, Bruce, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, they marry each other, remarry each other every 5 years. So they've been married 15 years. They've been together 17 years. And so they've had 3 weddings in the 15 years that they've been married. And then next year will be their 4th wedding. And that will make 20 years. And so every 5 years, they literally get married all over again. I love her perspective. This is their beautiful family. They have a blended family right here. And this is the first time that they married. I'm actually going to go back because I'm going to tell you And I'm going to decrease this. So this is their first wedding when they first married, right here. This is their second wedding, 5 years in. This is their third wedding, 15 years in. And of course, this is them as a beautiful couple. So next year, they're going to do their wedding again. They're going to do it again, and that will make. And she has such a unique perspective on how they love each other and how they're together as a couple. She said that they always do everything over again, like when they first met. She said they courted. They chose to be each other's blind dates for 90 days when they first got together. They only spoke to each other via phone. That she would not go see him. She would not go out on a date because she was tired of getting in relationships before she married her husband, where they just come to her superficially because they liked the way she looked. They liked the way her body was at the time. And she said she was just actually on a fast, and she said she was not going to do that anymore. And so he loved that approach. They literally blind dated, courted for 90 days. Then they got together afterwards and they become boyfriend and girlfriend. She said, and then they became fiance and then married that way. And so she said after each marriage, they take a year. She said a year to start off and doing what they did before. And so I think the blind date is the 90 days again. They start blind dating each other for 90 days. Then they go into the boyfriend and girlfriend. It take time like that. Then she said now they're in the phase of fiance again, of being fiancés again, like they, doing what they did when they was engaged. And then come leading up to their fourth wedding, which is next year. And I'm going to come back probably in the month of June because their anniversary is in May. And so I'm going to come back and show pictures of wedding number 4 for them, which will make 20 years. And I just love her perspective, their perspective on their love, their romance, and their marriage. It's so unique, such a unique quality. And so I want to talk about that a little bit more tonight. We know what the definitions are. I want to open this up a little bit. These are our key points for tonight. Our key points are how to love, and in 14 ways to become be a more loving partner. Final thoughts, and then our quotes. So let's move this on, and I'm going to keep going back to and referring to my guest from last night and re-highlight some of the things that she shared with us on last night. I tell you, she is such a unique. She has such a unique approach to again to love, romance, and her relationship and marriage that way. This is an open platform. If you have any questions or if you want to share any scenarios, please feel free to do that. I will stop and highlight everything. So, how to love. Let's talk about how to love. All right. Most people, and this teaching tonight, this theory is by Rosanna Snee, S-N-E-E, Miss Snee. Okay. And she's a licensed marriage and family therapist, Miss Snee is. So most people mistakenly think that love is a feeling. But here's the thing that they had, that it's kind of wrong. It is a feeling, but it's not. Okay. So, we go through the butterflies. Our heart flutters when we see that person. Our knees sometimes buckle. But that's not considered love. Okay, so those may be some physical feelings that we feel, but those feelings do not amount to genuine love. And feel free to jump in, guys, to tell me if you want to share some of the experiences that you had when you fell in love. Okay, so in order to be more loving, we have to understand what love truly is. It's not just a feeling, but love is a commitment, it's an action, and it's a decision. And we're gonna and most of us that have been in a love relationship longer than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we understand how love is more of a commitment, an action, and a decision. So but the initial feelings, the butterflies, the heart flutters, and the buckling of the knees are all part of falling in love. Okay, but it's like a knee-jerk reaction, though. It's not planned and it does not last. That's temporal. It's a short-term honeymoon period that ends if that relationship lasts for any length of time. And I can talk about that because my husband and I will be married 30 years this year in September. And so it's different phases and stages that you go through. But love, true love, really is a commitment. It really is an action, and it really is decisions. Okay. So it's understandably why we're confused about love, especially because Hollywood they put a spell on what love looks like. They have people believing that two people can fall in love in a matter of hours. They look at the sun or a star, something like that, or days. They look at the Titanic, for instance, or through emails, which the old movie You Got Mail. Okay, and a host of other spellbinding movies, but that is not true. True, genuine love begins after the spell wears out. Okay, and after the honeymoon ends and real life begins. This which is great news. Okay, so if we know that actually loving someone starts at the end of when your knees are buckling, then we should be prepared, and we prepared not to give up. Okay. We don't think, if you are currently in a relationship that you feel is circling that drain, or one in which love has flown the coop, you feel like love has flown the coop, or you think it did, then you got a nice surprise that's coming, a good, nice surprise that's coming. Your heart doesn't flutter anymore with the butterflies or whatever like that, but it doesn't have to be over. That doesn't mean that it's over. And so, we're going to learn more about doable ways in which we can learn how love really progresses, and how we can become more loving with our partners or our significant others, and enjoy satisfying relationships. Okay. And once we know that what genuine loves look like, it will be easy to implement these strategies. Okay. We might be thinking that this is too good to be true. But here's the thing. It isn't too good to be true. It's partners by applying these following suggestions or strategies to our relationships. Okay, so number one, let's talk about number one. And it goes right back saying this. One, and let me open this up because I think all right, let me go back. Number one, okay, that's it. Let me open it and close it. Number one says commit to your relationship. And let's go back to what we were saying, what love is. Real love is a commitment. Real love is an action. Real love is a decision. Okay, so let's decide that when you decide that you're going to be in a relationship, okay, that you're going to work towards, growth is going to have to happen. And you have to learn how to nourish it to the best of your ability. Every relationship is unique. It's different. It may have some similarities, but trust me, every relationship between the people are unique, because what makes your relationship work between you two may not work for me and mine. Okay, so remember that. But without commitment, every relationship has to have a commitment, though. So without commitment, we don't have to necessary foundation to build a loving relationship. Let me say that again. If there's no commitment, then and this is why this first step is crucial, commitment. So if you have commitment, okay, if you have that, then you got a great fighting chance for your relationship. So there's a note that Dr. Sneed said, it's never too late to make it's never too late in a relationship to make a commitment. So let's move to number two, investing your time. Now, last night, Tamarra talked about this, how she and her husband, Bruce, they're very, very busy. They're business owners. So they have several businesses up under their, both of them. They have family-owned businesses. And so they work, seem like tirelessly from sun up to sunset. But she said one thing they make sure that they find time to invest time in each other, in their marriage. She said they on purpose schedule and make sure they keep that schedule to for her and her husband where they go on dates on a regular. They do not allow anything to compromise that time that they have, not their children, nothing. They do not compromise that. They fight to keep their marriage alive and strong. And that's a good thing. So investing your time. And here, what Dr. Snee is saying is that the workaholic who works 60 hours a week might say that they love their family a lot, but they're working hard to provide for them. But that's not love. Remember, love is not a feeling. It's not words. It's an action that we decide to take. Love is an action and love is an activity. Now, I said last week that my love language is showing me. That's action. It's not what you say. It's what you show me. If you show me some dogmatic ways or something like that, if you you show me something that's not too of good character integrity, I'm gonna believe you. I'm gonna believe that's your that's just the way you love me. That's my love language. Okay. So what Dr. Snee is saying here is that one of the most important ways to demonstrate love is to spend time with the person that you love. After all, time is our most prized possession, which it is. I always tell people, if I give you my time, that lets you know that I really care about you, because I have a very tight, hectic schedule as well. But if I give you my time, that's because I care about you. You mean something to me for real. So when you show someone that you love them by spending quality time with them, okay? So if you want to become more loving, find time every day to connect with that loved one. Okay, you can do this with a text, a phone call, or a lunch date. Just be creative. Be creative. Okay. And like I said, I try to do that with my family, the ones that I love. My husband and he knows how we try to stay connected with different things. Everything hasn't always been peaches and cream in our marriage, but the reconnecting, the rebuilding, the moving forward, it's been rewarding. It's been rewarding. Number 3 says communicate your love. Communicate your love. So there are countless and effective ways. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to see if someone is saying something. Okay, there are countless and effective ways to do this. So when Dr. Snee said when her husband notices that she's in a hurry, he makes the bed for her in order to give her a few additional minutes in the morning. That's awesome. If she runs out of a certain type of food that she loves, he stops at the store to pick it up. He saves the last of everything for her. And if he never ever says the words that he loves her, she still knows that he does, clearly, because his actions are speaking loudly. So find ways to communicate your love through your actions. Okay. Bring home a treat, do the dishes, make dinner, leave a note in their favorite coffee mug or something before they leave to go to the gym or something. Do their laundry, something like that. Dr. Snee said her husband takes off his chain and sets it on a nightstand. So when he's not around, she shapes the chain into a heart and then she leaves it for him. She said it always puts a smile on his face when she does that for him. She said, so as a writer or as a therapist, she said one of her favorite guidelines is show, don't just tell. I like that. Show, don't just tell. Okay, so by doing this, it provokes a reaction from your significant other. So take an action, however small or large. This shows your partner how much you love them. Number 4 says be spontaneous. Relationships can fall into ruts, which, yes, again, take it from someone who's been married 29 plus years. Relationships can start walking into the kitchen, wondering what to make for dinner, not feeling like cooking at all. But suddenly your significant other walks in and says, take off that apron, I'm going to take you out to dinner. Or how would you feel if you don't know, but guessing that you just want to jump for joy, right? Or you just come, I made reservations at a great Airbnb. Oh, that sounds like fun. Okay, pack your bags. Spontaneity adds a thrill to any type of relationship. So let's try surprising your partner if you can. If you can do it this week, do it. Number 5. Let me see if someone say anything. All right. Number 5. Acknowledge the thoughtful things that your partner does for you. One of the ways to be a more loving partner is to acknowledge all what your partner does for you. You might be taking your partner for granted and not even realizing it, which, trust me, that is out of the norm. Because people are so busy, we're so busy with our lives. Yes, it can seem like we taking our significant other or our partners for granted and not even knowing it. So don't think that that's out of the norm. This is something that's normal. Make sure that you thank them for doing laundry if they do your laundry, walking the dog, making dinner, doing the dishes, working out, replacing the soap, and the shampoo before it runs out. There are a million different things that can keep a home going, and it's just easy to forget that someone is doing this. So don't forget to acknowledge them and say thank you. Dr. Sneeze said that her husband had just taken a shower one day when he said thank you. He said, I never have to worry that I won't have shampoo or soap. Okay, it's always there. He said, I really appreciate you. And she said she felt warm and fuzzy after hearing that. And it made her feel very appreciated. Your partner will too. So again, number 5 says acknowledge the thoughtful things that your partner does. All right. So let me open this up just a little bit. Okay, we're moving on from number 6 to 10 right now. Number 6 says to be supportive. Be supportive. Peaches said it's the little things that make a difference. Yes, ma'am, it does. It's not always the big things. It's the small things. When I can say, for example, with me, if I'm running out of a mouthwash or something in our bathroom, I'll come back in and look, and I got a whole new one sitting there and prepared, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. That is so. It's the small things, and it may not mean a lot to somebody else, but it definitely means a lot to me. Because I don't have to stop and try to go to the utility closet or whatever and grab some stuff. It's already there for me. I appreciate that. Number 6 says be supportive. So, let me stop here. Does anyone have any more anything to highlight or any questions while we're doing this? All right, I'm gonna keep moving. I'll stop and highlight it. Number 6 says to be supportive. Peaches said, "Got yes, exactly." The Dr. Sneeze said when she decided to go back to school to become a therapist, it would mean a great deal of sacrifice. She would eventually have to quit her job, come up with tuition and money, and devote time for studying. Her husband said that she'll make a great therapist. And he said that we're going to make this work. So go on and do it. Go back to school. So she says she decided to write her book, The Healing Alphabet, with 26 empowering ways to enrich your life. This is one of her books. He said when she wrote it, he couldn't wait to read it. People will love it. So when she decided to cut her long hair, her husband said to her, "You look so cute with short hair." And has been very supportive throughout their 33 years together. And that support demonstrates his love to her. So in what ways can we be supportive to our partners? Maybe it's supporting a hobby that they have, or wishing them a fun girl day out, or fun guys day out, or being there for every music recital, or when you're supportive, your partner will feel like that they cannot fail. It will also provide the encouragement that they need to keep going and to have fun at the same time. So that's number 6, be supportive. Number 7 is to provide space. Clinginess can ruin a relationship. Too much of anything could be deleterious to its survival. So yes, it is good to spend time together, but in fact, Dr. Sneed recommends that it's also good to find a healthy balance. And I totally agree. You do need a balance. Providing space means that you allow your partner to express him or herself in the way that they enjoy. Allowing your partner time with friends and family, it is very important. So that you don't have to be by their side 24/7. So we all need time to explore, reflect, and express ourselves individually. Create a space for your partner so that they can express their creativity. Let them be them without you. Remember that they were somebody long before we came along. All right. So number 7 is providing space. Provide space. Peaches said, pay attention. I agree. Paying attention to your significant other is so important. It is very important. They want to make sure it makes them feel like that, okay, that they're there, that you really, you're not just overlooking and ignoring them. Paying attention, she's right, is very, 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 that's a love language within itself. Within itself when you're in a relationship, paying attention. So I wholeheartedly agree. Number 8 says to take the time, the good with the bad, taking the good with the bad. Now that's something that Tamarra was talking about last night. She was like, in other words, layman terms, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't do that. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be different things like that. She was like, when you sit down and think about everything, she said, people are so quick to just give up and to throw a good thing away. Everything takes time. Now, I'm not talking about a toxic relationship. I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about where we have to allow each other room for error. But not because you got to grow. Y'all know me. Growth is a part of life. Growth is a part of, if you find yourself in a situation where you keep doing stuff and you cannot help what you're doing, that's when it's time for you to go and see a professional, to seek help so you can get past these toxic patterns and behaviors. Okay, nobody should have to get used to any type of toxic patterns, anything that's going to downplay your relationship, anything that's going to drain or overpower or cause you harm in a relationship. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying human error. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, everybody should be allowed to grow and mature. When my husband and I married almost 30 years ago, we were young. So there was a lot of things. I can give an example. And I had to come back when I learned that I was wrong. I used to put my mom over my marriage. And it took someone older who was married to talk to me and tell me that I was wrong. It was like, listen, your mom is your mom and you're going to love her and you respect her. But you don't ignore, you don't ignore your husband, and you don't take what he's saying to you for granted. If he's saying that, okay, enough's enough. No, you can't. Can you kind of stop? Can you kind of lessen your time on the phone with your, you're on the phone all day, all night with your mom. I would like to spend some time with you. And I used to do that. But it took someone older and who was married, who had been married for years, to tell me, you wrong. You wrong. They saw something and they was like, listen, your mother is your mother and you love her and you honor her. But your marriage, your spouse, that's your number one now. And so you're going to have to learn how to shift some of that attention. And I went back when I heard what they said. And I kind of looked over at my spouse and I was like, wow, I really didn't realize I was putting my mom over my spouse. I apologized to him. And I didn't say I apologize either. I said, I am so sorry for this. Can you please forgive me? I thought that I was doing the right thing by honoring my mom. But when your life shifts, when you become married, your number one is not your mom or your dad, or your number one is your spouse. And then, and then you have to learn the different ways to how to you know give yourself and give your time to your loved ones. And so I can tell you, and I apologize to him for that. My husband had to learn too some things when it came to his family and us with his mom and dad and his wife and his family. He had to grow. We had to grow up. We had to grow. So taking the good with the bad. A good relationship takes a lot of work. And so the day that you married your partner, you probably thought that you hit the jackpot by marrying the most perfect being on the earth. On that day, you didn't think about the fact that he kept you awake snoring, laughed like a hyena, scratched the wrong places in public, chewed with the mouth open, and who knows what else. But we're just thinking about the trip to boy or whatever, how beautiful they looked in that dress, how handsome they looked or whatever. Okay, but like Miss Dr. Snee mentioned earlier, the honeymoon will end eventually. It always does, and then you're left with the real stuff: the smelly socks on the floor, the dirty mugs in the sink, the crumbs on the kitchen table, etc. So, of course, Dr. Snee says she's painting a bad picture. Maybe none of this has happened to you all. Okay, and after 15 years, you still feel like you hit the jackpot. Congratulations. That's good. But for the rest of us, understanding that there's no perfection, nobody's perfect. It does not exist. Yes, our partners are going to annoy us. They're going to annoy us at some point. We probably annoy them too, which I know I do. But if we want to be more loving, let's look past these imperfections, find a way to see it as quirky. Okay, it's part of who they are and what makes them them. So, all right. She said, according to Jeff Arbach, PhD, his book, Irritating the Ones That You Love, that he writes, he said, we may not be able to change who we fundamentally are, but we can do the best that's possible with what we have. All right. So, and that goes for both people in relationships. Neither one of us is perfect. So we need to be more loving, more accepting, and not so appealing, and bask in all the goodness that each of us provide. Number 9, let's avoid the put downs. Now that's so easy to do when you mad, like when you 10 degrees hot. Woo, it's easy to put the person down. But let's try to avoid them, the put downs. Okay, here's the thing. When we're in relationships, we pretty much know everything about the other person, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's easy to resort to the put downs when we're angry and upset about something that they've done. And it's normal, guys. It's normal. But if we could try to avoid the put downs, that would be good. Kind of, I'm not gonna say that and just walk away. That helps if you can say that. I'm not gonna say that and just walk away. So, for example, I'm not even going to say that. So what we're trying to accomplish is certainly doesn't see when he's put down. So we have enough strife in the world. Do not allow strife to infiltrate our homes. Speak with respect. Let love be the motivator and not pettiness. Now, I have to say, this is so much easier. So much easier said than done. But if you find yourself in a situation where, you go in there with them put downs, like I said, if you could say, you know what, I'm not going to say that and walk away, do that. And then if you said something, please have enough integrity when things sizzle down. Go back and say, I am sorry. I was angry and I should have been attacking the thing that annoyed me, not you. That came from Peaches. Peaches said that 2 weeks ago. Attack the issue, not the person. Gotcha, Peaches. So if we can go back, if you find yourself attacking the person, please have enough integrity to go back and say, I am so sorry that I hurt you. I should have been attacking the issue, what made me feel this way, rather than you as a person. I'm sorry. Will you please forgive me? And if you can do that and exercise that, that helps in a relationship because it lets your significant other know that you really are. You really are for them, not against them. You really do love them. You're not secretly trying to, be underhanded and stuff like that. So if we can just try to practice some type of intent. Peaches said, I had to learn that. I think we all had to learn that, Peaches. We all had to learn how to attack the problem rather than the person. And again, if we find ourselves in that predicament, go back. Okay, put your pride down. Go back and say, I am sorry, not I apologize. That's a weak apology. Say, I'm very sorry. I should not have said A, B, C, D. I should not have said that. I was upset with what happened. I should have attacked that problem, not you. Okay, so let's try to put that in place as well. Number 10 says, let's be willing to compromise. So relationships are partnerships. They really are. And it's an investment. I teach that relationships are also investments. When you can partner with somebody, marry someone, that's an investment, because you know each other are commodities. You're not liabilities, you're commodities. So we're partnerships and we're investments. Often one or both of the people involved forget this. They forget that this is a partnership. It's an investment. They're a little too self-absorbed, always wanting what they want when they want it, regardless of how their partners feel. Okay, so since all relationships require some form of compromise, to be successful, the couple has to work as a team. They must work as a team. Nope, stop, Cash. I'm sorry, I have a new puppy, and so he's down here. Stop, Cash. So they have to work as a team. It's always a give and take situation, a quid pro quo, a back and forth between the people that are involved. Okay. And so, like, for example, Dr. Sneeze says, hey, since she's like, since we saw Shaft last week, how about we see A Dog's Journey this week? That's a compromise. Both people are willing to give in to make their partner happy, even if they have to sacrifice a little bit. A willingness to compromise can go a long way in creating happiness and feelings of well-being in relationships. So let's move this on. We got 4 more to go, and I'm gonna get with this. Let me open this really quick. We have 4 more to go. All right, so number 11 says to tell your partner 3 things that you love about them. Tell them so Dr. Sneeze said that her husband and her, and she attended a couple seminar years ago. One of the exercises that they asked to perform was to walk around their partner while they sat in a chair. Oh, that sounds like fun. And tell them all the things that they loved about them. And it was an amazing experience, she said. The focus was to be only on the good, on what they loved about them and what they admired and respected about their partner. And as the exercise progressed, the partner that was reciting all of the compliments was it was very powerful, Dr. Sneeze said. And she said the feelings that was created from that exercise lingered on for days. I love that exercise. I love that exercise. If you could sit your partner in a chair and just walk around them in a circle, telling them all of the good things that you love about them. And then you sit down in the chair and then reciprocate. I love that exercise. If you can do that on your own, do it. And as a matter of fact, we're going to make that a homework assignment. At some point within the next month, the next 30 days, if you're with your partner, try to practice that. Make it a fun time. That sounds awesome. I'm also going to practice this one too. I think this is so much fun. Number 12. Okay, we go right back to what Peaches said. Stop that, Cash. No, don't bite mommy. No, mommy said no. I'm sorry. He's trying to bite me, y'all. Okay, so number 11 says, tell your partner. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Number 12 says to listen. That goes right back to what Peaches was saying. No, don't do that. Stop, Cash. Go. I'm sorry. He's trying to bite me, y'all. Nope, go. Listen. Peaches said that earlier. Pay attention. Listen. Listen. I love that. Number 12 says to listen. So you might think that you're listening, but next time your partner is talking to you, pay attention to their thoughts. See, Peaches, she's so wise. She said, I had to, again, she had to learn that. Peaches is so wise. She said to listen. I love that. Okay. And when you're listening, when they ask them, what are you thinking? Don't do that. No, Cash. Don't do that. No. Uh-uh. She said, don't do that, Cash. No, I'm sorry. He's teasing, so he keeps trying to bite me. Don't do that, Cash. No, 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 go. Yeah, take this. Take that. Bye-bye. Go. Lord, I had to give him my pen for him to go. Okay, so when you're listening to your significant other, ask them, what are you thinking? Are you really listening? Are you formulating your answers before while they're talking? Have you tuned them out? And we know, honestly, that's one of the worst tools that we use, tuning someone out and not listening. But again, Peaches said, stop yelling at, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Peaches. He was tearing my toes up, biting. He's teething. So them sharp teeth, he was tearing my toes up. I'm so sorry. All right. So when you truly listen to the other person, they feel valued. They feel important. They feel like they actually matter in your life. And it isn't that that a gift that you want to give. Isn't that a gift that you want to give your partner? It does not cost a thing. All right. But the dividends are priceless. True listening is the encapsulation of love. Again, Peaches talked about that. Pay attention, listen. So tonight, if you get a chance in the next 30 days, I'm going to do this. Ask your partner a question, then really listen to their answer. Don't get discouraged if your mind starts to wander, because that happens, for a spell. But bring it right back in, focus again, and then your partner will sense you're attentive and be ever so grateful. So that's another thing that you can do within the next 30 days. Ask them a question and then really listen. All right. Number 13 says to drop old issues. Okay. Now, this is not an easy thing to do, especially if the issues seem like they can continue to reoccur and reoccur and reoccur. And that's why I said, if we find ourselves in a place where we're not able to stop bad habits or something like that, then it is time to go and seek some professional guidance and help to kind of help you retrain your brain and help you to do things it teaches you to think the triggers. It teaches you to catch them triggers and to think before you repeat the same errors, which causes discomfort within your situation. But if you can just drop like little old issues that don't matter, it might sound crazy to bring up past issues and hurts while you're in an argument. But couples, they do it. Listen, this is something that they do all the time. It is not uncommon for a partner to say, remember when you broke that vase and you said that you replace it and you never did? Again, let's go back to what Peaches said. Peaches said, attack the issue, not the person. The best way for this example is to say, I really, I expect when you say something, I expect you to actually follow through with it, not just say it, because when you begin to practice to say things and then don't follow through, then I think of you, or I see you as a liar or a non-truth teller. Your words are just empty. And so if a person is, in a situation like that if they can understand better that just throwing stuff out, okay, yeah, I'll do it, and then don't do it, it's not acceptable, especially if it's something that a partner expecting them to do. You have to at least come back and say, I'm sorry, I meant to do this, but I didn't do it at the time, but I'm going to do it now. That helps. All right. So the partner let me go back. There's no reason to bring up the past, is what Dr. Snee was saying. Ask yourself, what is the point? Going back to what Pete just said. What is the point? What am I trying to accomplish? Am I trying to fix the problem or make it worse? Again, you can try to fix the problem by saying, I really believed you when you said you were going to do this, but you did not. You did not. And so if even if you have to say, I try to follow through whatever, if I say that I'm going to do something, I try my best to follow through, because I don't want you to feel like my words are empty. I don't want you to feel like I'm a liar. So I really expect the same with you. This is what's going to make things smoother with us. If you can actually do what you say do, and if you can't, then come back and say, I'm sorry, I thought I would be able to do it, but I did not. So that's, not even attacking, but it's just speaking about the actual issue rather than attacking the person. All right. So all issues have no place in the present. Let them go. Concentrate on the here and now, because the bottom line is to make your relationship stronger, not to weaken it. Now, again, I'm going to go back and say this again. If you find yourself in a place where you're constantly repeating the same errors and you feel like you can't change what you do, then thank God there's people out there where you can seek help to find better strategies to help yourself move past this or whatever you need to move past. Don't be ashamed to go and seek professional help. It doesn't mean anything negative. It actually means that you're doing something positive for yourself. All right. So number 14 says, love does mean having to say that you're sorry. Here we go. Love does mean having to say that you're sorry. Okay. Dr. Sneed said in the 1970 film, The Love Story, written by Eric Segal, there's a scene in which Jenny, played by Ali McGraw, says to Oliver, who was played by Ryan O'Neal, don't love means never having to say you're sorry. And she says, I beg to differ, and I do too. People, she said, make mistakes. I believe in poor choices, not mistakes, because when you know better, we should do better. So that's not a mistake. It's just a poor choice. But people do make poor choices. And it is good to apologize. Not just a fake apology, but a true heartfelt apology. Apologies go a long way to repair a broken relationship. So if you're in the wrong, say it, mean it, and make sure that the person understands that you are making amends. Again, I go back to saying, say I'm sorry, not I apologize. I'm sorry. Can you please forgive me? That is heartfelt. Okay. You're not going to come off as weak by saying that. Not only will you validate your partner's feelings when you say I'm sorry, you'll gain their respect. So more than likely, your partner will say something like, it is okay. I know that you did not mean it. Making amends when you need to. Your partner will look at you with the loving eyes that you want them to look at, or that you crave for. You want them to look at you with. All right. So that's all 14 of them. I did run over, but it's okay. This is our last night. And then I'll see y'all in May. But our final thought for tonight, or our takeaway, is love is the most beautiful thing on earth. Being loved is the most amazing gift that we can give. And all of the heart flutters, the butterflies in your belly, the buckling of the knees cannot replace genuine acts of love. So don't allow your relationship to be fed by simply stringing a set of words together. It takes a great deal more than that. It takes a commitment. Remember, love is a commitment. Love is an action, and love is a decision. You decide to love. Done over and over and over again. Like my guest who was on last night, Tamarra Johnson. Her and her husband, again, they remarry each other every 5 years. They keep doing the things over and over and over again. How they fell in love. They start all over, fall in love with each other all over again. They date each other all over again. They get engaged all over again. And in every 5 years, they remarry. Next year, 2024, is going to be their 4th time they married each other. And that will be year 20 for them. And I'm going to be at that wedding too. I can't wait. So these are our final thoughts. Okay. Dr. Sneed said, that if you have everything that you need, we've given you everything you need right now tonight, and it's the start that you need to make it to the finish line of your relationship. So if your relationship has suffered an injury, most relationships have suffered injuries, implement the above tips for the week, a month. See what happens. See a second honeymoon in your future. And I'm telling you, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop in the comments box. I'm gonna drop in there these 14 different strategies, and I'm going to also put them in YouTube. I'm going to put them all over Twitter, everywhere. I'm going to drop the strategies, put them in there so y'all can see it if you want to take them and just look at them. All right, so our quote, let's do our quote. Our quote for tonight is, I love you for all that you all are, all that you have been, and all that you will be. And the author, the person who did that quote is unknown. All right. So if there is, this is my theory. Let me open this up. This is where I got my teachings from my fellow colleagues. This is them. All right. And if there is a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, that series that you missed or you just want to rewatch, you can go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please subscribe, like it, select any past series that you want to watch, and everything is right there. Ring the bell too, so you can get notified when I come back up with that. When it's time for my May sessions. Okay, I am a professional one-on-one counselor, so if you're interested in counseling services, feel free to contact me via my Facebook Messenger at Shanrae Owens. My married name, Shanrae Owens. Y'all know my Shanrae Price page was hacked and taken over. So that's Shanrae Owens. Inbox me with there. Or you can contact me at my Shanrae Price at Gmail email address. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your life's goals and your life's dreams. Okay, and let me move this along. I'm going to open this up. Let's open this. Oh, I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Peaches. Thank you guys for hanging in here with me for the month, my first quarter of 2023, February 2023. Counsel Today with Shanrae, the Love Series. I have enjoyed y'all this month. I will see y'all in May. I'll see y'all in May. And I tell you, just enjoy your spring and your summertime. Enjoy. If you can implement these strategies, go on and do that. And remember, everybody is all on the same page. We're all working towards becoming better and happier and more whole. So this has been Counsel Today with Shanrae, the Love Series for the February month, the month of love and Black history. God bless you all. See you in May.
Look out. I think Moto likes you. Here he comes.
I like 'em big, I like 'em chunky, I like 'em big, I like 'em lumpy, I like 'em round, with something, they like my sound, they think I'm funky. Yes, girl, you huge.
Who's your friends? Or is that your butt?
Girl, you as quick as you are after.
So you're Moto.
The name's so nice, you say it twice.
I kinda like it, Fatso.
I'll see you around, girl. It won't be hard because you so plump and